Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
With me now is a fellow by the name of Slugger. Last name, please.
Labbe.
Labbe.
Pretty simple.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Well, with an N's and an E, I was Labbe.
Right.
Labbe.
I can understand.
So, forgive me.
It's all good.
So, Slugger is the man, and he has been in racing forever. Can I say that?
Yeah, 35 plus years.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
And did you grow up in NASCAR?
I did. So back when I was just growing up, my dad was a weekend warrior on the NASCAR North Series back in Maine. And I always wondered where he was at night and weekends because basically he was off racing. I was growing up as a kid. So when I turned 16, I started getting more interest, more so than hating him being gone all the time. I figured I would join him and
travel with him.
Yeah, so that my first race I went to with my dad in Thunder Road in Barrie, Vermont, we won, and it really from
nice first trip.
Yeah, so I was like,
sure he wanted you to come back.
Yeah,
too.
I was like, well, this is easy. Let's do this again. So that really started, my interest level into NASCAR and just racing. So eventually. Just moved away from Maine in 1989. We had run the Oxford 250, which is a big north-south combination race. And then after that, the race ended, I asked a friend of mine from North Carolina, I said, hey, I need to send something back to North Carolina. They're like, yeah, whatever you need. And the guy says, what is it? And I said, me. So I had $1,000 in my pocket and a suitcase, and away I went. And that's how my career in the South started.
You were crew chief in various different, but you ultimately wound up as crew chief. You were involved in 500 NASCAR races?
Yeah, so as a crew chief and over 1,100 as a NASCAR member. So I've been to a lot of races, seen a lot of things, and, that's what's great with my job in TRD is that I've seen so much over my experience in NASCAR that would try to bring some of that technology to the NHRA series. So it's great for me to be involved with TRD and all the drivers and that we support and others and working with NHRA. We try to implement a lot of the things that we've learned along the way in the NASCAR series.
Well, Toyota and TRD weren't involved at the very beginning of your career.
Right.
And so you've obviously made a connection with them over the years. When did that all take place?
So I've been working for TRD for the last almost 4 years. So basically a good friend of mine, Andy Grays, who's the manager for the TRD side in North Carolina, I was burned out, honestly. If you go back to the NASCAR days, I was a crew chief for 20 years, and when you're a crew chief in NASCAR, you work 7 days a week, 90 to 100 hours a week. You wear a big target on your back.
Say everybody's mad at you.
Everybody's pissed, and just nothing ever goes right. So even when you win the race, it's still not good enough, right? So you're only as good as your last race. So, seeing my family suffer, like when I was a little kid, when my dad was always gone, my kids were going through the same thing. So one day after Bristol with Austin Dillon, I just called my wife and I said, this is it. I don't feel like doing this anymore. And if you lose that passion, there's no sense to do it. So it was time for a change. I did a little bit of stuff for NBC Sports. I was an on-air analyst. Really enjoyed that. But then and when Andy called me, he's like, hey, I want you to come over and help the NHRA series. Bring some of our technology over to them. Bring your wisdom and experience and work with those guys. So we did that almost 4 years ago. And one thing I quickly learned when I got in this garage was, like, these crew chiefs know a lot about clutches and engines. I don't need to get involved in that. I don't need to learn about that because that's completely different from my background.
Absolutely.
So my approach was to be another set of eyes, come in and pay attention to things that the crew chiefs weren't. Tires, chassis, safety, headers, just aerodynamics, just different things.
Team interactions.
Yeah. So, hey, think about this. And, it took a while for the crew chiefs to get comfortable with me.
You.
Yeah, because here I was coming in, and I stood back for a couple weeks and just watched and tried to absorb. Because I've only been to 1 or 2 drag races. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But
you're a NASCAR guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
so,
what do you know?
Yeah, right. So we go in circles. These guys go straight. So
exactly.
Completely different environment, but a lot of the things do apply. So we just took a while for the crew chiefs to get comfortable with my involvement, and probably about 3 months into it, they started, interjecting more and asking questions, and we started making their tools better. And when I say tools, it's the support tools that we have from, all the track information that we give them, the weather analysis, tuning programs, many, many different things that we do for the teams. And, TRD is no different than anybody else. We participate in the sport of drag racing for 20 years now, and it's a great involvement for us. But the tools that we provide, we want to be the best, right?
Sure.
We want to be better than everybody else. So we work really, really hard to give factual information to the crew chiefs. We have 2 engineers that run up and down the track all the time getting information. We put all that information in spreadsheets along with weather and different formulas that we have, and try to give them what they can run for ETs. We try to give them as much useful information to make the best decisions.
Well, and a lot of that's just about data, and if they have other people acquiring data for them in a format that they use, it just makes them better.
Sure.
Because then they don't have to focus on it. They can trust you.
Or maybe they weren't doing
that.
it to begin with.
Well, like I said, it's another set of eyes, right? Just come in, hey, put a different spin on it. Look at it this way. I don't want to get involved in clutches and engines, but we want to help you use the other tools to complement your clutches and engines, right? So, in a day like today where the weather's going to be changing all day long, water grains up and down, we're hoping our information that we provide to our crew chiefs will be very beneficial to help them make the right decisions when they get up to the water box.
So, But you've also learned a ton coming to NHRA. You're talking water grains. Did you ever talk water grains in NASCAR?
No, not at all. But you certainly, you pay attention. It's free, right? And that's the biggest thing I did when I got here 4 years ago, was just absorb it all. And I went right to the crew chiefs and said, look, I don't know anything. Please help me. And John O. and Tommy Delago, they were probably the ones that wrapped their arms around me the most when I got here and really just paid attention. And, of course, Nicky Bonafonte was very good as well. And just, man, there's so much to absorb in drag racing because it's completely different. But
every run's
different. And still today I learned so many things. And my notebook gets longer and longer and longer of things that I want to work on to help these guys do a better job.
Did you ever run across in all of your NASCAR days what you run across here and you've got more horsepower than you can actually put down to the ground?
No, it's, we're restricted in NASCAR a lot now because, the speeds are way too high for NASCAR's,
view
mentality.
Of the world,
yeah, so it's definitely different. And we've seen a lot of NASCAR drivers come over to the events and watch and listen. And Tony Stewart's been driving here lately. And there's a lot of cool things that, NHRA guys or NASCAR guys are learning a lot from this sport, and they're getting a lot of interest. So NHRA sport is definitely taken off. The fans are back now in the stands, and that's great. TV ratings are getting better and better every week, and it's great. And, for me is I don't like it when our cars go out and smoke the tires, right? I feel like when that happens, we let them down. So we go back to work and work harder on coming up with a better solution to give them the best information.
Well, and that's all clutch management.
Right,
as you know, which
you
didn't really have to,
the track,
which you really didn't have to worry too much about in NASCAR.
Right,
and so and you say that you don't really have anything to do with the engine or clutch side of it, and you leave that to the crew chiefs. Is that how you do that?
We do. The crew chiefs have to make that final decision, and again, we try to get our information to the crew chiefs as soon as they can, so they can formulate everything into one big analysis to make the right decision.
Yeah, you're giving them information to make decisions on. You may not be actually deciding, okay, this is how you're going to run the clutch. You're just saying, here's what's out there. Now you figure out how your clutch works the best under these circumstances.
So our information pretty much complements their setup.
So how is your relationship with the Coletta bunch?
It's strong, that because Coletta's has bled Toyota forever, and to come in and help those guys, they were like, Andy Graves said, hey, here's Chad Head. You're going to work with him. And it's been fun working with Chad. He's been in the sport for a long time, much like myself, and he's a wealth of knowledge. And we do a lot of cool things for the funny car, because it is a Toyota Camry. And we work really hard. We take it to the wind tunnel, the rolling roads wind tunnel. We blow the speed at 200 miles an hour, and we try to find a performance advantage in a wind tunnel, just for an example of some of the things that we do. But we've helped Coletta's design different chassis by running different CAD models to make improvements for reaction time and also getting the rear tires going forward, and there's definitely a lot into it. We've built header calculators, just different things to help our teams get better.
How have you had a relationship, I assume, with Connie?
Yeah, Connie's pretty cool. He's a rad man, and actually last week in Charlotte, Kyle Busch got to meet Connie as well.
Right,
and
saw that.
Yeah, Connie was pretty impressed by meeting Kyle, but Connie is he's a unique individual. He just he wants to go fast, and it doesn't matter what happens. If he blows an engine up, it's because he was trying to be the best. And to Connie, it just it's fun walking in his trailer and looking at all the destruction and parts that are blown up because Connie's our guy.
And the things he learns from it, though, too.
Yeah, but what's funny was when Mobil 1 came into the sport, they decided they wanted to build a better engine oil. And we did all the testing on Connie's car because we knew that Connie would push the limits and push the Mobil 1 lubricant to the extremes, and certainly he did.
Well, you mentioned Kyle Busch. I saw his video after he started. Is it J.R.
Todd's, yeah.
Funny car, and just that kid grin on his face,
sure.
And the smells and stuff. That was pretty awesome to see you blending the NASCAR guys into the NHRA guys.
I know when I first went to my first couple events, I was all up on the starting line right by the cars, taking it all in. Now I'm like 20 feet back. I'm kind of like, there's a lot of stuff that happens here. I don't need to be a part of this. So.
Yeah. So do you have a TRD team meeting with all of the drivers and the cars, with everybody together at the same time?
So
Does that ever happen?
So typically we meet with the crew chiefs. We go over the past history of what's happened. And say, like at Houston, we give them a breakdown of what lane typically is better, or if one lane leans to the left or the right, to profile if there's bumps or dips in the racetrack. We review all that, and a lot of times the drivers, after they make their run, they'll come up in the TRD trailer. We'll pull up their video that we make, and then we pull up the data. And simply just go over what the driver just did. My common saying to them is like, I'm going to be honest with you. You make the lines, and I just tell you what the lines say, right? So we just give the drivers an honest opinion of, hey, this is what happened on your run. So, the crew chiefs are always worried about the next round, and they don't have time to really sit down with the drivers.
Yeah, they're looking forward, not
right.
behind them.
Yeah, and that's the thing I always tell all the teams, like, look, you focus forward. That's your job when you're at the racetrack. So the drivers will come in and hang out with us in our trailer and just download and have an honest conversation.
So how many data lines, because you're showing them graphs of what's going on as the vehicle, how many different data lines will you have available on a graph, though you may not show them all at one point, but to go over them?
Yeah, so basically in the model that we have, there's at least 30 parameters that we can pull up, and it all depends, the biggest thing is we look at the dry shaft and we look at the lateral to see if the driver's steering, if he's, if they smoked the tires at 600 feet, was it something the driver did by trying to get the car straightened back up or whatever it may be. So one of the coolest things that we do is on Thursday we measure the tracks and we check the profile of the track for bumps and dips. So basically what that means is we take that information, we put it in the raceback data. So if a driver goes out and he blows the tires off at 400 feet, we can
identify
if that bump had something to do with that. And sometimes, the crew chiefs will realize that, hey, there's a bump at 700 feet. We better take some timing out or do some different clutch applications. So
don't let this happen here because that's the wrong spot.
We just say, hey, look, be aware, alert that there's a situation on a track at 700 feet that you need to be prepared for.
You get information from your own teams. Can you gather information from the competitors that are running out there and what you see?
Everything that happens when that gate opens is analyzed.
Okay.
It has to be. And we constantly build a big database to prepare our teams when we come back. So basically, before we even get here, we have a playbook, and we typically, like I said, we know the trends and the history of the track and who runs good at this track, who doesn't, and who's got the best reaction times and all those things. Everything goes in a big database, and it's constantly updated all the time.
Are you not thrilled to be over here on the drag racing side instead of the circle track side? That's a whole new challenge for you.
Well, 4 years ago when I started, NHRA was my main goal. This was my assignment. And the last couple of years, they've thrown the Truck Series at me, the Xfinity Series. So, so I was just watching practice going on in COTA. So, Texas is a big weekend for us. We have the race going on in COTA. We have everything going on here. We build the trucks in San Antonio. We got our TMNA headquarters in Plano. So Texas.
You're going to move here, aren't you?
Oh, geez, who knows? Who knows what tomorrow brings, right? But today we're focused on participating in this event and being low qualifier both in Top Fuel and Funny Car.
Great. Slugger, it's great to have you here.
You talk about bringing a history of the track. How does it affect your history database when they grind it and try and smooth it out? Do you throw all that out, or you still?
Well, no. So basically, we look back at the past history, and then we can tell exactly what they did for improvements, and then we can put that into the formulas as well.
You try and make some allowances, adjustments, rather.
Yep.
because of the improvements they've done. But still, you got to have a base to work from.
You do, and it's got to be factual information. I always tell my guys, garbage in is garbage out, right? So if you don't give them the right, accurate information, we're wasting our time. We shouldn't be here. So I constantly pushed our engineers, this information, before you release anything via text or whatever it may be, it has to be factual.
I know you got to go. We thank you so much for stopping by and talking to us. It's a real pleasure and an honor to meet you.
Thanks for having me. And again, NHRA Series has definitely changed my outlook of motorsports because I never realized that you can tear up so much crap in 3.5 seconds. It's awesome. I love it. Thank you, guys.
Love you.
Thank you very much.
We really appreciate it. Slugger Labbe, and he is with the TRD folks all here, and thank you, sir. We appreciate you. And our next guest is going to be the president of the NHRA, Mr. Glen Cromwell. And did we lose him, or did he get sidetracked? Is he taking pictures with somebody?
No, I think he's around here somewhere.
Okay. Well, we're just going to
probably taking pictures, signing autographs.
That's what I'd do.
Kissing babies.
Kissing babies.
That's what I'm going to do later.
Okay. Well, that's all fine. Well,
sign autographs, kiss babies.
So did he leave? Hello, Mr. Mars. Did
Glenn leave?
Did Glenn leave?
He's coming.
Oh, he's getting some coffee.
That's what they're calling it. There's a bar right around the corner.
Well, what are those things with the scotch and the coffee?
Coffee. Yeah,
coffee.
Yeah, it's just coffee.
Okay, good.
No, those are. Gosh, what are they?
Coffee.
No, they're good. That's what
they are. Yeah, that's especially with the whipped cream on top.
Man.
And all that.
And, yeah, cherry.
So just to let you know, while we're waiting for Glenn here,
Glenn.
that we are coming to you today live from the NHRA Spring Nationals out here at Houston Raceway Park. Joining us now is the president of the NHRA, Glen Cromwell. Glenn, it's good to see you.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
How's the weather?
The weather is perfect.
The sun is coming out.
It is beautiful,
the sun's
sunny.
Yep.
We're running cars. Fans are coming in. There's
right?
a lot of excitement. I was just walking around the Midway in the Nitro Pits with Seth Angel, who's the owner of the facility.
Yeah, what a guy.
He's done a great job, hasn't he?
Well, he told me that it was almost as if you two were dating this past week because you've spent so much time together with the weather forecast. And, unfortunately, we go through these bouts, especially in the spring, and we also go through it in the fall. But it just so happens that this is the week NHRA is here and it's going to rain.
No. We're in a dry slot right now.
We're in a dry slot.
Yes.
That's the word.
That's the word that they use, right?
Yeah, the dry slot. That was new for me. So lots of changes since the last time that we talked to you here, especially with the COVID thing. Oh, my gosh. What an absolute nightmare. How is it? From a standpoint of the president of the NHRA that deals not only with the racers, but also the tracks, the state, the local governing body, whatever that is, having to deal with the fans. We can only let so many people in.
And it
How do we
varies
sell
from
tickets?
event to event.
All of this stuff that you've acquired through COVID. Thank you very much, COVID. I mean, it's got to be a nightmare.
Well, listen, you saw me, 2 years ago?
Yes.
And I look like I've put on about 10 years.
We're trying not to say that. It's the lights. It's the lights.
It's the lights, right. Now, it's, listen, it's been a challenge for everybody, you know, personally, professionally. You think of all of our fans. But, as I tell everybody, there's something special, and I will say this the rest of my life. There's something incredibly special about the NHRA and the stakeholders in the community. And I came from a different motorsport before I joined NHRA in 1997. And
you did?
Yeah.
Where were you?
I worked over at Feld. I did Supercross and some of that. And, and it was great. Don't get me wrong. But there's something incredibly special about the people here. And when things aren't going well, people pull together.
Exactly.
And they come together and they help. I mean, I always say it's kind of like a team that, maybe struggling going from second round to third round or to the finals. And, maybe it's a single car team that just doesn't have the resources. You see other people come in and help.
Yeah.
It's help. And
what sport does that?
What sport does that?
Nobody.
Right? I mean, they're usually but here they do that. And I always use that example of that's kind of what we've gone through the last 14 months. And our fans have stuck by us. We shifted our schedule, I think, 3 times in 2020. And that's no easy feat, right, for our fans to go through. But our tracks We're incredibly flexible in our race teams. I will tell you, from our sportsmen to our professional race teams have been incredible, and they've all stuck together. And we've had a lot of communication. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't, but at the end, everybody pulled together. And I don't think you look at 2020, we were able to get 11 events in, 9 during
which is surprising,
COVID,
right?
Which is surprising, but I don't think that happens if you don't have tracks, fans, race teams, and sponsors that are all kind of behind you and supporting you.
It's the ingenuity of planning,
and flexible to deal with the situation.
Flexible, adapts.
Ingenuity of planning.
It is, and we always believe communication is the key to success, right?
Right.
And what we sat down in March when this actually hit of 2020, we thought it was going to last for 2 weeks. Amazing, like all of us,
did.
right?
Yeah.
We'll be right in Vegas in 2 weeks. Everything will be back normal. But we realized probably mid-April that, what we were up against. And we said the way we're going to get through this is communication. And we're going to have to communicate to the teams and all of our stakeholders literally almost on a daily basis. And we did. We did. And the team at NHRA, all of our employees, but our leadership team is incredible. I mean, we all pulled together and, took a certain level of responsibility. We broke out, Ned Walliser and Kristen Winslow handled a lot of things for us on the track side. Josh Peterson worked really closely with the race teams. We had someone handling the media and the employees. So really the teams, they stepped up.
Well, that's what a leader does, is delegate as well, and then coordinate.
They do a great. You got to have a good team, right?
I can only imagine the bill from Zoom. I mean, the Zoom calls must be out the wazoo. I want to ask you about some news that I came across this week, that you guys are going to split up with NHRA headquarters in Glendale and also in Indianapolis.
So we have an office in Glendora, California.
Glendora.
Yes. It's about 5 miles from the Pomona.
Uh-huh.
And through COVID, what we own a facility there, and as we looked at it, we have less employees today. The workspace and going forward, the way people are going to work, whether it's remote or hybrid, we have space, and we felt, listen, is it better to just sit there on all this space, or is there a better business decision to make that if you can sell it and we can put that capital back in the sport and invest in different areas of the sport that we need coming out of COVID, that's the best place to do it. We can lease back. Plus, we have looked, a lot of our employees that we currently have are choosing to go to Indy.
A lot of teams are based there.
A lot of teams are based there, which makes total sense.
Right.
Jeffrey Young, of Marketing and Media, moved there about 2 months ago. As we rehire people back from COVID that we've lost positions, we will make those hires back in Indy, and we will invest in that track, in that facility. And to your point, that is our teams. We've got our teams there. We do think other teams will start going there, and really could be a base of where it's out of. But I think the one thing I will say is, we have no intentions of leaving Southern California. We will always have.
That's where you're home. That's where everything.
That's the
started,
heritage.
Yeah.
That is our heritage. That's where Wally started it. We will have a base there, whether it's called headquarters or not. What the future brings, but we will have a place in Southern California as long as I'm here.
And it's nice to see California opening up as well.
It is,
allowing you probably to get back to Pomona at the end of the year, but also Sonoma. That's back on the schedule because California kind of shut you down last year.
Yeah, they did a little bit.
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
You guys want to come and join us in California?
No, but we certainly will join you in Indianapolis.
Yeah. Well, just to clarify, so we are excited. We are seeing the state open up. We do think come June 15th we're going to get some great news from Governor Newsom, and what we have done. Actually, Pomona, for the finals, we actually took the Winter Nationals, ironically, and that will be run on July 30th, August 1. So the Winter Nationals will, for 2021,
be in the
become
middle of the summer.
The Summer Nationals. So the Western Swing will actually be Denver, Sonoma, Pomona. So, and
it's Christmas in July.
It is, and we'll got some exciting news that we're gonna send out here shortly. But
you don't want to break it on our show.
You know, we'll do a little racing at night. You know, kind of like the old days in Southern California.
In Houston, right? Houston's coming back in the fall.
No.
I wanted to commit.
Nice try.
Nice try, Jeff.
All right. You stunned me with that silence. I'm like, huh?
He knows something that I don't.
Have you been talking to Seth Angel? He didn't mention that on all those phone calls that I had.
It's a plan.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you expect here this weekend? I know that the schedule changed overnight, that we've moved pro qualifying up, and it obviously allows some more time just in case it does rain. We've been very fortunate so far. It's looking good. Radar's looking good. We're keeping our fingers crossed. So to get 2 rounds of qualifying in today, and I assume that was the plan, is to make it all fit in the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, what we have seen, a lot of our fans, the majority, they come early.
Yeah.
They come early.
We come early.
Right.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, I got here early, and I've watched people coming in, and, you know, we had scheduled, I believe, 1:30 for Nitro, 12 for Pro Stock, I believe, somewhere in that range. And we said, hey, listen, if we can get, you know, 95% of our fans are here by 10 a.m., 11 a.m.
Let's start a little
Let's
early.
start, you know. Let's
Absolutely.
look at the weather, and that works for everybody, right? It works for our fans, works for the track, and works for the race teams.
And
the race teams are itching to get out here.
And it royally screwed the in-wheel time schedule that we had planned. So, just saying.
We're happy to see everybody streaming in, though, too.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was the panic I got on myself. But we need you over here right now.
That was part of it, yeah.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm just teasing with you.
No, I know.
Just one quick question, and you may not can answer it, but I mean, obviously you're a fan of the sport, you know, the racing, but you're at your level, you're also the business guy. Do you ever get conflicted between the two? No.
You know, I think it really helped me in the position I am. I mean, if you look at my background, I grew up around motorsports, not drag racing, but I grew up around SCCA. My dad, you know, had an MGA twin cam and raced when I was a little kid, and so I've been around racing, you know, like a lot of us, you know, since we were
Grew
5.
up with it.
I grew up with it, and then, you know, once I finished college, I went on and worked for Feld. It was called Pace Motorsports at the time,
Right.
And then of course is Feld. So I really learned, you know, the promoter side of motorsports, right? You know, the business side, and I touched every piece of it. Worked for a gentleman, Charlie Mancuso, great promoter back in his day, and really learned from him. And then when I came to NHRA, you know, I started as a division director, and I think if you guys know,
And brought those skill sets
and
with
brought
you,
those
though.
skill sets, and you really learned the NHRA at the grassroots level, working with the junior drag racing, the Lucas Oil drag racers,
Right.
the Summit ET cars. I mean, you really learn. And
So you don't really have to separate the sport from the business because it's just one for you.
It's one for me. You know, I grew up and I worked every piece of it. Worked on the television, the marketing, the operations. You know, I understand the racing. I'm involved in at every level. I'm involved in working with PRO, and you know, if there's issues on track, you know, I get involved in it. I don't necessarily handle it. We have two people, Ned Walliser and Josh Peterson, that are fully involved. But you know, I think it's important.
You know for what they're doing, basically.
What they're doing. You know, you have to. You know, and as you said, you got to understand every piece of the business, and you got to know when to delegate. You got to put good people around you and let them do their jobs.
And congratulate on Camping World. That was huge.
Yes.
And what a great blend that is with what happens at track as well.
Yeah, is that perfect? But
It
camping,
couldn't be more better,
we're a camping ground.
Well, yeah,
Right.
you know, you go out there and get on track.
Around camping, but you know, a big shout out to Marcus Lemonis. I mean, he really stepped in with.
How is he to work with?
He's great.
Because he just seems like
he's a fun guy.
Very focused.
Oh.
And he is out to win whatever it is. He's out to win, kind of like drag racing.
Yeah. He is exactly. Don't get in his way, because he is going 300 miles an hour, and don't get in the way. And he's got things in his mind. I did a call with him just 2 weeks ago on a project that we're working on. And it's amazing how much he knows about this sport. I was blown away. Now,
Has he been to a drag race?
He has not. He was going to come to Gainesville, but of course, you know, that was still mid-March, and people were still getting the vaccine. He was not fully vaccinated at that time, so he just, wasn't comfortable. But I know he's going to come out soon, and a lot of people are like, well, he doesn't really know. He does the trucks over at NASCAR, but it's amazing how much he is engaged with our sport at all levels: the fans, the tracks, the drivers. I mean, he really knows.
Yeah, I want to see his face standing between two nitro cars when they start up and head down the track.
We all do. We'll make sure that's on
That is
Fox.
such a great face.
Yeah.
Glenn, it's great for you to come by. We really appreciate you. And
Thank you
very much. And what a great event. And we sure are glad that you still keep coming back to Houston, and hope that'll remain that way for years to come.
Well, thank you for you guys for everything you do. You do a great job
Thank you.
helping us promote the sport, pushing it forward, and just thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Be
Wish
safe.
you lots of success.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Glen Cromwell, he's the president of the NHRA, and obviously you can tell by the sound of the exhaust out there on the racetrack that the racing
Cars are on the track.
on the track. So that's also
So
good
you need to
news.
get here.
Well, yeah, come on out. We'd love to have you. And we need to take a break. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So this is the In-Wheel Time car show coming to you today from the NHRA Spring Nationals in Baytown. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the most sought-after models in the Houston area today. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is easy to get to on Highway 225 near Beltway 8 in Pasadena. Whether it's online or in person, you're welcome like one of the family. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In-Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. Inside the Loop, visit Tailpipes and Tacos on the Southwest Freeway at Shepherd, weather permitting.
NHRA Camping World Drag Racing. It's an 11,000 horsepower Nitro Rodeo coming to Houston Raceway Park in Baytown. Catch all the Nitro and Pro Stock action at the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil this weekend. Matt Hagan, Leah Pruitt, Erica Enders, 3-time world champ Steve Torrance, and 16-time himself John Force. Kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Get tickets at HoustonRaceway.com. Houston's got horsepower.
Don't miss the first ever Houston Summer Auto Show, May 19th through the 23rd at NRG Center. A limited edition collection of your favorite brands and models, including the new Ford Bronco and Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Tickets online only at HoustonAutoShow.com.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In-Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.